Hello everyone, good evening and welcome back to WOR Tier 3. It's the 9th round of the season here at the Mexico City Grand Prix. And after back-to-back race wins for Flying Rossi, he finds himself 56 points in the lead of the championship. Absolutely astonishing stuff by the Brit. This evening I am joined by a special guest in PSR Jish. How you doing, mate?
Yes, hello Joseph. Welcome everyone to WOR Tier 3. Yeah, obviously I haven't been commentating over this tier before, so it should be a lot of fun. And I've heard that I think it's Rossi leading the way by quite some bit, so hopefully he can try maintain his gap out front tonight and get another race win under his belt to try and climb himself up towards the WOR Championship.
Absolutely, and he's got a really good chance to do so with 3 race wins to his name, 3 second places as well, and arguably it should be 4 race wins after that calamitous end in Belgium. Well, of course, likewise, I've been away from this tier for a few weeks. I think my last commentary here was Zandvoort, I think, back in round 5, so I'm well out of the gist of things, to be perfectly honest with you. But if you're not aware, there has been a very, very minor podium pass tweak this week, which has resulted in many, many questions regarding desync. Now, that has been very prominent on PC, but has still appeared on Xbox. So, obviously, we are hoping for a clean race on that front, but it's not nice to have that lingering in your mind as, you know, league coordinators, commentators, racers, whoever it may be. It's a massive insult, as we all know. 9 months into game release and cancellations are occurring. Obviously, if you're joining us tonight away from perhaps PSGL or other championships you may be racing in that have been called off, it's just a massive blow, isn't it, Jish?
Yeah. Obviously, that's the way it's been for all these years, to be honest. Codemasters not really caring a lot about their multiplayer customers, which is unfortunate. Obviously, they fixed it for esports, and then now it's come back after the end of esports. So it does have an effect on many leagues, commentators, league admins, and owners, especially over the league I commentated last night, TGC. Yeah, they were very heartbroken about it, and they rightfully should be. But hopefully, it shouldn't happen or occur today. Obviously, we've seen a lot more of it on PC and more worse effects on PC. It has been noticeable on Xbox, but just to a lower degree. So hopefully, no desyncs for tonight. But hopefully, we can get over with a great race.
Yeah, absolutely. And it does look like we're about to load into qualifying, of course, the 18-minute session that we all know and love. But I think if we are to see any issues, they will come at the start of the race. And just to describe it, it's not a family-friendly look, but I'm sure you've seen the clips of it. I'm sure you saw the clips from back in the day, if you like, about September, I think it was, last year when PSGL took on Monza. George Morgan in the commentary box, absolutely diabolical were the words he said, and they still ring around to this day, those words. It is appalling, and I hope, for the sake of this tier, for the sake of my return and your exhibit, that it goes well. 20 seconds until we enter qualifying. In fact, less, as drivers have now all readied up. Is it going to be a dry start? Yes, it is. Clear skies in Mexico City. Talk us through the track then, Jish. What do you like about it?
Yeah, Mexico, very, very fast in towards turn 1, the longest back straight on the calendar. So you're ideally not really aiming for pole position tonight. You want to be trying aiming for second row to get a nice slip in towards turn 1. Try maybe make a few moves in towards turn 1. And then you got 2 DRS zones on the back straight, and then also in towards turn 4. But yeah, very, very, very difficult on the tyres around here. Usually, we might be seeing a 2-stop, 1-stop if you are very, very, very gentle with the tyres. And obviously, invalidations as well to come with the tricky part of Sector 2. Very, very technical if you do get it wrong. But hopefully, we have a nice, calm race, and should be a very, very exciting one.
Yeah, I do hope so. 4.3 kilometres long, the circuit. The back straight. Oh, sorry, the front straight, I should say. The main straight taking up about 1.2 of those kilometres. Such is the likeliness of overtaking this evening. First out on the track then, it is Harv 234, and he sits currently, well, not where he wants to be in the championship, just 11th place. It's not been a competitive season by his standards for Harv. Best finish being P4 this season. 3 DNFs to his name, the reigning Constructors champion, alongside the Humperdinck, who has not had a great recent couple races either, to be honest. But Aston Martin, Harv and the Humperdinck, we all know them very, very well. Jish, what do you have to say about these two as a lineup? Can they bounce back from recent struggles?
Yeah, hopefully they can. Obviously, Humperdinck, very famous name in the league racing community. Obviously, one of the owners here of WOR. But yeah, hopefully he gets back in towards the slide of things. He was up there for the championship. Obviously, he is the reigning champion this season, as he won it last time out in season 10, I believe. Season 11, sorry, of WOR. We're into season 12 now. But yeah, hopefully the Aston Martin crew of Harv and Humperdinck, no, I can't even speak today. The Humperdinck can get things going tonight with a strong finish.
I do hope so, and as we say that, Harv crosses the line then to embark on the first flying lap of the evening. And yes, you are right, the Humperdinck, champion of Tier 3 in Season 11. It is quite hard to believe we're on Season 12 of this thing, and I do hope it goes for much, much longer. And Harv making his way now through turns 2 and 3, second of 3 DRS zones, and sadly he's invalidated his first run, so this will not be a banker in the bag for Harv at this stage. Nope. Yeah, 3 DRS zones though, obviously Australia inviting us for this weekend's Australian Grand Prix. One of the DRS zones being in towards turn 12, the entrance of the stadium section, where we're not likely to see much overtaking, but it's still there. It provides such a close field throughout the race. DRS trains are going to be key here, Jish.
Yeah, definitely. DRS trains usually very, very interesting. All in league racing is typical. Just getting a little bit agitated with Harv there, just blocking him on his lap ever so slightly on the medium compound tires. But yeah, DRS zones are usually a occasional thing around here in Mexico. You usually just see people waiting until the very, very last moment, usually at the last lap of the Grand Prix, to make any moves just to avoid unnecessary racing and just try and calm things down. But yeah, you usually see the DRS trains happen quite a lot around here, but hopefully people keep it clean. But we should be in with some Gruce racing, typical coming into turn 1 now on this medium run, electing for the medium tyres to start this session off in towards the DRS section of turn 4 with a nice little slip from Harv there just in front of him as he makes his way towards turn 5 now, third gear. As he makes his way through the right-hander, a little bit of a break on the way in, and then immediately off the brakes in towards the double right-hander. You want to go a little bit wide for the first one, and then miss the second one just to get a nicer exit. And then into the trickiest part of the circuit, FLT Blackie with a 1:38.294. That's the target to beat for everyone tonight. He makes his way through the back straight, DRS wide open for typical as Flying Rozzy eliminates that time of a 1:38.294 from Blackie to go on pole position to a 15.197 for the championship leader. Making his way through the same section out, typical as he makes his way through the final corner and across the line on his medium run. What's it going to be in particular to Rozzy? He goes P2 with that 15.741, just about 6 cents down on your leader at the moment. But yeah, good all and out first run from the Mercedes driver.
It was indeed about 6 cents clear of TMS and Mayest, who has also done a lap time on the medium compound. So yeah, not a half bad effort from typical F1. Did look a bit scruffy in places as well, but once he gets onto the grippier soft compound tyres, I'm sure he's gonna maybe give Flying Rozzy a bit of a run for his money. That would be great to see. Plenty of drivers in this pole battle this evening. APL Axel, and I don't think he's raced so far this season, and the very first time of asking, goes on to provisional pole, a 15.1, just pipping Flying Rozzy, but quickly smashed by FRT Blackie with a 14.5. A very strong lap time to open this session for the Red Bull driver, who currently sits in P16 in the championship. So again, another driver that would like to raise himself up the order, just on 14 points, with his teammate Team Heaven on 15. So Red Bull looking for a strong performance today, perhaps individually rather than collectively, but be interested to see after that time from FRT Blackie whether it holds.
Yeah, fantastic run there from Blackie, getting pole by 7/10 so far. But yeah, usually probably going to be seeing the times in towards the low 14s, probably for pole position here. Maybe low 14s, high 13s, if possible, for maybe a few selected drivers if they get an absolutely fantastic lap in. Savoia also on a lap, just crossing the line on his invalid 15.615. Nath also on a lap in the Alpine. Limpjet making his way through sector 2, DRS wide open for the Haas driver as he makes his way in towards the stadium section, breaking around the 50-meter board a little bit too late, but carries the speed very, very well. Team Heaven crashing out of the double right-hander and will not finish higher than Team P5. There's a little bit of connection issues going on for Limpjet there as he's almost smashed in towards the wall and apparently did a 105 lap there, but not sure what happened there, to be honest. But we'll move on. Rossi on his on an improvement so far as he crosses the line. Can this be a 13? No, but it's close to a 14.838. What am I saying? Close. It was thinking about a 14.1 on my screen, which is a bit weird. But nevertheless, 14.8 for Flying Rossi there, just creeping in to Blackie's time for that 14.5, slowly but surely. Adam Dude also just starting his lap as well. A little bit of traffic going on there. Savoia coming towards the final corner once again, invalidating on his run, just can't really get it together. Harv also on an out lap on the soft compound tyres. And then Liam Hardman also starting his lap right now. But Flying Rossi gets the second man in to creeping into the 14s and trying to go above and beyond to try and extend his championship advantage.
Indeed, and we did see a bit of lag there from Limpjet. I do hope that isn't the dreaded desync. Obviously,
dear.
lag can be an element of that, and we are seeing some timing issues, it seems. I am keeping my fingers firmly crossed, but we are watching now. Adam Dude coming through Sector 2 into Turn 9. Next up, Turn 10 and Turn 11, completely flat through there. In the race, it's a bit of a different ball game, as you do need to lift, you do need to think about tyre temps in particular, but Adam Dude, who's climbed up to 5th place in the championship, 4th, 2nd, 5th and 2nd, his last 4 race results, which is a massive improvement from the 6 points he scored in the first 4. Adam Dude with a 15.0 goes up to 3rd place. He'll be dearly satisfied with that.
Yeah, Adam Dude into P3, 15.006. Yeah, very, very tasty lap from the Williams driver, mixing it in with the top guys, just a little bit quicker than Axel. Then Harv immediately beats it to 14.896, very, very close to Rossi there, championship rivals. Of course, typical also on a lap in Sector 1 now. What's his Sector 1 split going to be like as he crosses there? 3/10 up at the moment, so still looking on a 5 right now, so which will put him P9 at the moment. Team SMA is just starting his lap as well, alongside the Humperdinck on the medium compound of tyres. And alongside that, also FRT Blackie, who's just crossed the line, currently leading the way on that 14.515. So if he can try and improve there, that'd be absolutely fantastic for him to try and get pole. Adam Dude backs out of his second lap. He's going to be trying to improve on his second run, but I believe he's backed out as well. Typical, making his way through Sector 2 now and in towards
flying.
The final corner now, and he's 9/10 up. He's absolutely flying, as you said, Joseph.
Yeah, he has rounded the final corner now. It's been such a tidy lap as we would expect on the soft tyres. And there we go, a 14.3, beating Blackie by about 0.2 of a second. And that is typical F1 at his typical best, as he has been in his last 3 races. A 3rd, a 2nd and a 4th, which again is a major improvement on his first 4 races, similarly to Adam Dude. So we're seeing some late bloomers towards this second half of the season, and Mexico City starting to bring the best out of these drivers.
Yeah, definitely. So typical, absolutely flying right now in Mexico. FRT Blackie was about to cross the line, but he's invalidated his run, but he's going to try and go again on the same set of soft compound tyres. And the championship leader of Flying Rossie's just come out of the pits as well to do his second lap in the McLaren car, as APL Axel as well, making his way through Sector 2, just under 2 tenths up in towards Sector 1. A little bit of traffic as well going on in the front, in the stadium section, I believe. That is AB Raptor as well getting involved just in the background as he makes his way through the final corner. He's invalidated as well, so we'll stay on boards with APL Axel as he makes his way through the stadium section. He rounds the final couple of corners now on towards the curb, a little bit too wide, and he's backed out of that one.
Yeah, I'm not surprised, to be honest. I think he just snatched the front left tyre a little bit, locking up. I think he's going to go again here. His battery not looking too replenished starting the lap, but we will keep an eye on it. ABE Raptor might have gone again. He's currently on the medium tyre. Shazoo Savoya, who has not had a great season. I mean, as we all know, he runs on about 6 pints for these races. Genuinely, the guy... what a life he lives. 4 points he scored this season, last of all the full-time drivers, which says a fair bit, doesn't it? But he does love giving it a good go. He does love turning up, and he does love giving us something to laugh about. So we can only thank him for that. Nath rounded the final corner, invalid on this occasion. KTFE Kevin, I think that was a second up I saw, just as a glimpse there. Now into the hairpin, lot of inside curb, and again into turn 15. And now turn 16 and on to turn 17, where he'll look to cut inside, take the short route to the line, and it's a really, really competitive 1:14.3, making it a Mercedes 1-2 at this stage. Well, 2022 really is wild.
Yeah, where have we seen that before from recent times? Mercedes 1-2 with Red Bull in P3. Probably not this season in real life, but there we go. But yeah, great time there from KTFE Kevin, putting it into P2, very much helping Mercedes there in the constructors' side of things. Harvey crosses the line now to a 14.896 as Heyman Cass decides to put it in the pit lane. I believe he was just on an in lap anyway. Leon Hardman as well, also on a lap in this in the Alfa Romeo, crosses the line to go P7 on 14.952. So putting his way in the midfield there. Not a bad lap time from him at all. Flying Rossi was on a lap, but he has invalidated his first run and will be trying to go one more time. There's also ABE Raptor invalidating a well alongside Savoya, who's going to be pinning it into the pit lane. But yeah, great lap there from the Mercedes crew, and hopefully going to be trying to improve further on in the session.
He is, and Flying Rossi, the name we're all watching at the moment, has got about 5 tenths to find if he wants to stick it on pole position for this Mexico City Grand Prix. Now making his way down into turn 4. Third gear, nicely rotated. Second gear, cuts inside, and then up to fourth for very strong traction. And again, does the same. Second for the rotation, fourth for the exit. How will he approach turn number 7? Fifth gear, medium speed corner, and this is all looking pretty neat and tidy. Bit of a swirl of the back end there. But that's what you need around Mexico. You need to compromise the straight line speed. You've also got to think about the downforce. It's wide for Flying Rossi on the exit of turn 12. Now into the hairpin section. A lot of inside curb, but it seems to have just given him that boost. So he can think about the final corner and short run up to the line. Flying Rossi goes back to third place. And it's a lot closer, a lot more competitive. With 3 minutes to go in the session, the championship leader puts it third.
Yeah, just about a tenth slower than Kevin there, but there's still time for one more run. If he's very, very quick about it, maybe probably not thinking about it though. But P3 is not bad at all. Blackie as well, invalidating again on his run as well as Rafiki joins the session. I believe he may be a driver, so joined keeping it quite late. But never mind. FT Blackie, as we said, just invalidating his first one, might be thinking about going again on the same set. He's probably going to have to with the amount of time that is left in the session. But who else is pretty much up? Harv might be going again in the stadium section. No, he's not. Humperdinck's just crossed the line to try and improve of his lap time of an 18.905. But yeah, still more time to be gained. Typical on an outlap right now. The pole sitter at the moment is going to be trying to go again in the session. 1 minute 55 left to go in the session. It's still uncertain who's going to be pole in Mexico.
Absolutely, the Humperdinck using all of the track available, now shortening the route, of course, to turn number 4, finding about a 10th in the first sector, but 2 straights involved, so it's not going to be representative of what you really can find in these next 2 sectors, of course. Very tight to the apex at turn number 6, the double apex right-hander into turn 7, using a lot of the track on entry, using a lot of the curve through the sweeping S section, and pinning it in 7th gear. Whoa, a little bit loose on the exit, but DRS open as soon as possible. Again, shortening the route on the left-hand side. A very good lap. 3 seconds up so far, but that is on a best of an 18.9. Now into turn 16. Again, nicely rotated, finds the apex nicely. Short run up to the line and for the Humperdinck. And just like that, he's 1/100th of a second quicker than typical F1 and is disrupting this Mercedes 1-2 so far.
Yeah, great lap there from Humperdinck, putting it on pole position, but typical, and Kevin still needs to put laps out there, and it's only by 1/100th of a second, so it's not quite done yet for the Humperdinck as Rossi retires in the pit lane, so he's happy with his lap time. Probably wasn't enough time to go again anyway, as typical still needs to make a lap out of it as well. Kevin's just about to cross the line too. Heyman Cass is invalidated as well, who's close to the line. Adam Dude's going to be trying to go again if he has time, and he probably does. APL Axel as well, coming towards the stadium section now in the Alpine cars. He makes his way through the exit and in towards the final corner. He was pretty decent a couple of laps ago as he crossed the line. Huge moment there and a huge crash for the Alpine driver, and it was looking good out of the exit of the final corner, but he smacked it into the wall, and that is Axel's time out, and he is out of qualifying here in Mexico. Typical, a 10th up at the moment, and is looking good. Kevin has invalidated, so it's all lies on Typical now to try and make this work in towards the final corner now. He only needs about 100th. He's got a 10th at the moment. Rounding the final corner comes Mercedes driver of Typical F1. Across the line he comes. Pole position. Whoa. It is 14.237. Typical on pole position here in Mexico.
And his teammate KTFE Kevin has invalidated, so he'll be doing no better than 3rd. But can anyone spring a late surprise? Limpjet won't be doing. He peels into the pit lane. TMS Amaze out there, not pushing at all. Shizu Savoya is out there though. Imagine the story if the Argentine could pinch pole here, but it doesn't look like it. He's invalidated in the stadium section. Oh, Luca, we just want to see you with a valid time one of these days, with a good race one of these days. But the story is typical F1. It's a great pole position as he looks to build on the 6th place in the championship he sits in. A great effort though from the Humperdinck, who in his last 2 races has scored just 4 points. Needs to get himself back on the right track. That's what he has done in qualifying, hoping now for a clean desync-free race, as we like to call it.
Yeah, great outing there from Mercedes. So 1st and 3rd, with Humperdinck ruffling a few feathers in P2. A great lap from both drivers as well. FLT Blackie just couldn't get another clean run in P4 with Flying Rossi. You would say out of position in P5, but we will have the slip going in towards the back straight. 3rd front row on the 3rd row, so not bad outing at all, but definitely this benefits Kevin and Blackie massively with getting the slip, so you never know, we could see Kevin or Blackie into the lead in towards turn 1.
Yeah, as we all know, pole is on the left-hand side here, so that is the racing line, so if anyone can make that jump, squeeze themselves on the inside, it could be a very entertaining turn 1, as we all know, at Mexico City. But let's not ignore the likes of Axel, Amazed, Heaven down there, who are going to look to start on the alternate strategy, go long into this race, try and maybe do a 1-stop if they can, but safety cars are going to play into their hands in this race surely. Turn 11, bit of a danger zone. Just collisions anywhere on the circuit, it is possible to get tangled up, you know, double chicanes, at turn 1, 2 and 3, turn 4 and 5, as well as action zones for this evening's Grand Prix. Just seconds to go then before we're into the race lobby, race setting. And again, I reiterate, let's hope. I want everyone's fingers crossed that we can get through it. Issue 3.
Yeah, hopefully so, but we never know. We never know with this game, but hopefully it should be all good. But yeah, as we saw, typical pole position for him. And obviously, the top 10 will be all starting on the soft compound tyres. And probably would expect the bottom 11 to try it for the mediums or the hards, which APL Axel and also Savoia has chosen to do on the hards. Nathan on the mediums, and I'm pretty sure pretty much almost everyone on the mediums there. So interesting that APL Axel is now the only man on the hards, and Savoia has switched to the mediums. So only one driver so far on the hards, which is going to be a tough fast, but definitely possible for the one stop. You probably would assume if you can try and make it to around lap 25-ish, lap 27, if possible, to do around 9-8 laps on the soft compound tyres. That'd be quite beneficial, but we never know.
Absolutely. I'm going to try get, Rafik back in. He is a driver, making his first reserve appearance of the season. So, see what I can do here. Invite to game. Hopefully he's able to get back in. I believe the tier 3 chat was anything to go by. Was breaking his Ramadan fast. So, hopefully that brings some blessings that he can get back into the race and have a successful one, of course. But strategy is as follows. Of course, all of the top 10 on the soft compound tyres as they qualified on. Still a rule, of course, in the F1 2021 game following the 2021 season. But it's Axel, Amazed, Heaven, Nath and Savoia have gone for the medium tyres. Raptor and Rafik then are on the soft tyres. Perhaps going for an aggressive start. Who knows? But strategically then, Jish, who do you think is going to come out on top out of the two strategies on offer?
I think probably the alternate strategy is probably your best bet here in Mexico, just because of how bad the tyre degradation is on the soft compound tyres in qualifying. But you have seen most times, obviously, pole position is a good place to be, obviously. You're at the top of the field, you can dictate the field, but alternate strategy usually around here in Mexico is the best bet, but we never know. But it could be interesting factor, as we've seen just now actually. API Axel did decide to switch off the mediums, switch off the hards on towards the mediums, with only Raptor and Rafik on the soft compound tyres, who will try and mega charge up the field in the first opening laps to try and get away if he can, but they're only going to have to make it last a few laps before their tyres start to die off. But we're getting ready for the Mexican Grand Prix. 36 laps are upon us. It should be a very, very tasty one.
Absolutely. Now in the stadium section, of course, the first welcome sight for the virtual fans. Hopefully the virtual fans don't have to see cars on top of each other. It's just the Codemasters theme that we have to mention. You know, if it happens, don't ban us, Twitch. Ban Codemasters. But there we go. Strategy at the bottom of the screen saying two-stop strategy, but there'll certainly be a lot of ambition. Apparently, rain on the horizon, according to our sources in Axe F1. F1 Esports Challengers driver on Xbox, of course, this season. Whether he's right or wrong, we'll find out in just a moment as the grid forms. 17 drivers taking on Mexico City. Here come the lights. Fire red lights on at Mexico City. Lights out, and away we go. Typical F1 has to contend with a slipstream, but it's a mega start from KTFE Kevin on the left-hand side and into the lead already miles before turn 1. And it's an 890-metre run to the first corner. The Humperdinck looking to go up the inside. He started second. Will he take the lead? KTFE Kevin had a great start. The Humperdinck around the outside at turn 2. Absolutely mega racing at the very first corner. Typical F1 now, wheel to wheel with Harv. It's Mercedes against Aston Martin early on here. The Humperdinck back up the inside at turn 4 as the two go wheel to wheel once again. Now into turn 6. Surely they don't keep going. Oh yes they do. It's KTFE Kevin on the inside of the double apex turn 6, and it settles down momentarily with Kevin out in front. What a start.
Brilliant start there from the second row runners of Humperdinck and Kevin there, getting an absolutely fantastic run off the lights to Kevin, and caught his teammate napping if typical, who's already down to P4. He's had a shocker of a start from pole position. Harvey as well getting his way in towards P3 as Humperdinck had a little bit of a go as well as Savoya, the first one of the crash at the back of the field, and the virtual safety car has been deployed, and Humperdinck already electing for the pit lane after lap 1.
Wow, that's interesting. I hope it's not for damage, because that will set him back very significantly. But this perhaps does indicate that there is rain on the horizon, and the medium tyres will be the best bet. The Humperdinck comes in then, as does Liam, as does Typical F1 and Amazed, all of which did not change a front wing, with the exception of Amazed. He is changing his front wing, but I think this does indicate some rain on the horizon, like I just said. But wow, what a start that was. Savoya calming things down and inciting some strategy into this early stage of the race. The skies are blue at the moment, but for how much longer? It's an unknown to us. The drivers will know, though.
Yeah, definitely. So they'll know when the rain will hit, or what lap it will hit, and if it does, then Humperdinck, Typical, Liam Hardman, TMS Amazed, Nath, Axel and Team Heaven are probably looking the best right now at the moment, with sitting on the medium compound tyres, unless it hits fairly early-ish for the likes of the soft runners, maybe into lap 10. They might just get away with it, but it depends how much of suffering the soft compound tyres can take and how early they want to pit. But they're getting ready to get back underway now, and Kevin has a 1.5 second advantage to half in P2, but Blackie's closing in on the back of the Aston Martin down in towards the back straight. Will not have the benefit of DRS this time around, but in towards turn 4 he will. ERS is available to him on this time around. Harv not using a lot either, but Blackie using just a little bit to keep in the slipstream, maybe a little bit too far back in towards turn 1, breaking around the 100 meters as well. Gets very, very close to the Aston Martin, not quite close enough, almost runs into the back of him in towards turn 2. That DRS this time around open, no, not quite, as Flying Rossi as well closing in to the lead too, but once again not quite close enough. But yeah, soft compound tyre runners maybe in a little bit of trouble if there is rain coming up in a few moments time, but medium runners right now looking pretty tasty.
I do anticipate a bit of tyre management on this soft tyre, though FRT Blackie has had a couple of lockups on this lap, so definitely not taking that approach at the moment. Perhaps pushing early, going for another set of softs. Again, all a huge question mark early on. DRS available to Blackie. The pit stops of the Humperdinck and Typical F1 opened up a 1.8 second gap now for KTFE Kevin to evade the DRS. He's pressureless out in front, and FRT Blackie may fancy his chances here. Fastest lap for Kevin, and DRS shortly available for Blackie as he clicks it open now. The rear wing open, thin air here in Mexico City, not quite simulated in the game of course, but the 1.2 kilometre long straight providing huge opportunity for Blackie to gain. Then he's got another chance into turn 4, little bit wide at turn 1, but he soon sorts it out. Oh, never mind, on the exit of turn 3 he's all over the shop, and here comes Flying Rossi, just 2/10 behind him now. Will he go for a dive bomb, the championship leader? No, I think he just wants to think about his tyres, think about his championship lead, and not take risks early on.
No, definitely not. But his teammate on the other hand, AB Raptor, has sent a massive dive bomb on Team Heaven there as they go side by side through the double right hand, and they're still going to try and go side by side. Heaven on the outside with Raptor on the inside. Raptor gets it done. Lovely as you like for the McLaren team, and I'm sure they'll be happy with that.
Whoa.
But a massive slide there for Team Heaven, and he's lucky to not bend that in the wall, and he's definitely struggling for the temperatures on those medium compound tyres just ever so slightly, and gets a penalty for his actions going very, very wide there, and still struggling with the temperatures around here. Does he have any damage? I don't believe he does. If we have a look better on, he's just losing traction everywhere. Not sure what is happening to the Red Bull right now as he comes into the pit lane. Is there damage on that Red Bull? No, there's not, but I think it is to retire the car. And he does.
Yeah, well, that was weird, to say the least, for Team Heaven, who hadn't scored a point all season until last time out in Bahrain 2 weeks ago. We've had a break week since, doesn't feel like it, with WOR Xbox Tier 1 occurring last week, of course. But yeah, Team Heaven, again, it has been a miserable season. It doesn't look like he's enjoying it as such, and I think he has explicitly said that at times. But we all go through those phases on the F1 game, myself included, even just sitting here talking over 17 virtual cars. But that aside, still a great battle brewing for P2 at the moment. KTFE Kevin has actually been caught by about 7/10 since we last checked in to Harv, who now looks to be within DRS range. 9/10 it is now. Maybe a battle for the lead.
Yep, Harvey's been absolutely fantastic so far these past few laps to try and get back into the DRS of Kevin, who I believe is probably just trying to save his tyres ever so slightly, but is trying to be a little bit quick nevertheless. But now Harvey's in towards the DRS, so he will have a crack in towards the exit of turn 4. Meanwhile, Blackie's been staring at that Aston Martin a little bit too long for his liking, and I think he may be trying for an attack into turn 4 as well, to maybe try and pass the baton over to try and catch up to Kevin. DRS is available for both drivers, so now it's really squeaky bum time for Blackie to try and get in front of Harvey at the first opportunity if he can. Big lock-up there for the Aston Martin driver. Double lock-up, actually, for him, which is not going to help his tyres in the slightest. Double right-hander now navigating them way through. Blackie a little bit wide on the second right-hander, which is a little bit of a warning sign that the tyres may still not be there for him. Meanwhile, the championship leader of Rossi definitely getting a warning there, I'm sure, for his interesting track limits there as he makes his way through the stadium section. 2/10 down on his personal best so far, so he's keeping it very consistent so far as he makes his way through the stadium section now, pretty much pushing Blackie all the way through there, and this could be a 4, maybe even 5-way fight for P1 here, with Limjet battling away. There's about a train all the way through here, from first all the way down to about 8th, and then it's quite a big gap from the medium runners, with AP Axel in P9, 4 seconds back on Raptor there. But Rossi's going to get another run on Blackie to no avail, and they're still going to have to look at each other's rear end for a little while longer.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is just one of those mutual DRS trains, if you like. Nobody really going full steam ahead at this stage, of course. Maybe Harv will fancy it, though. He's now just 2/10 behind the race leader, Kevin, who, well, with that sort of pace drop off, you would have to suggest it's perhaps tyre management, but he's running wide on a few occasions, so we'll have to see how that one plays out. The Humperdinck 8/10 behind typical F1. That was closer at some stage as those two look to fight their way back into this race on strategy, of course. They made the choice to pit at the end of their opening lap. We've lost Savoia on the opening lap, and we also lost Team Heaven in the pit lane to what looked like a very undrivable Red Bull. Penalties to Nath and Liam Hardman at this stage as well as we approach lap 8. Is this Harv's time to shine? Well, we'll have to wait and see. I think he's just held back the last couple of laps, but there goes the overtake. KTFE Kevin defending early all the way to the right hand side. There's the DRS open for Harvey. Here he comes. It's been a while since he's led a race. Well, that might need fact checking, but here he comes anyway. Down the inside, he goes into the first corner. Will Kevin fight back? Not immediately. He's going to have the slipstream into turn 4, but it looks like if he can correct that slide, Harvey is going to hold on.
Yep, great drive there from Harvey. Great overtake in towards turn 1 and makes his way in towards the lead. A little bit of a look-up once again as Kevin just looks a little bit quicker at this moment in time. Pushing all the way is the Mercedes driver, and he's got Blackie just behind him on the Red Bull on the soft compounded tyres. No source of rain just yet, so soft compound tyres runners might just be okay for the time being. There's Flying Rossi as well, pushing in this train too. We're just Adam Dude gapping them just a little bit behind, but Kevin should have a good run out of the exit in the final corner. If he does, have enough of a gap to make their way through the stadium section. Round 5/10 you need is Blackie having a little bit of a look down the inside of the Mercedes there. Here comes Kevin round the final corner, about a 7/10 gap at the moment. He's going to have to use a lot of ERS to try and get the move done if he wants to get the move done. Harvey does have ERS to boot with him as well and does defend very, very aggressively to the right-hand side. Here comes Kevin. Nevertheless, is he close enough to try and make the move done? Meanwhile, Rossi's having a look on Blackie as well. Here comes Kevin. No avail. Here comes Rossi round the outside of the Red Bull. Side-by-side action. He's going to let Blackie have it in towards turn 2. Is he going to have it in towards turn 3? Yes, he will. So he might have a look down in towards turn 4. Here comes Kevin. Once again, DRS wide open on that Mercedes. He wants to dive it down the inside of the Aston Martin. He has a little bit of a think about it, but thinks better of it. And so does Rossi in P4 in the McLaren.
Yeah, no change there, but Flying Rossi will want to avoid. And likewise with Blackie fighting too hard, as they will lose the DRS to Kevin and Harv, who look like they might undertake a little bit of switching every few laps or so, as they look to just preserve ERS, preserve tyres as one, as a unit. This top 8 train still marching on, hoping to hold on to their soft tyres. We've had, again, pit stops from typical F1 and the Humperdinck most significantly found themselves in the top 4 and in great battles on the opening lap. That's calmed down since, but with the rain still looking a million miles away with the clouds, FRT Blackie is the first real pit stopper in this race, and he goes on to medium tyres. So this is interesting. Blackie on the medium tyres, signifying the rain still might be a way away yet. Sorry, here comes Kevin into turn 1. He's got it done. Slows the car down. It looks like he's taking a very leisurely approach into the corner. Perhaps a late move there on Harv, which I've just missed, but he's going to keep the lead anyway into turn number 4, and that chopping and changing is now happening.
Yeah, Kevin getting the job done. Quite audacious here. It was a huge send down the inside of Harv there, and he actually missed the corner in towards turn 1, but lucky enough he did make it stick just in the end. Harv really just let him go there, just didn't want to avoid, just wanted to avoid any contact if it happened. But yeah, Blackie on the medium compound tyres now. Limchek getting a 3-second penalty for his actions from track limits, but yeah, Blackie on the medium compounded tyres now, so maybe indicating that the rain may not come in the end, so we may have that just one lap of racing. And speaking of which, he does get a 3-second penalty out of the exit in towards the stadium section, which may halt his way for a win right now. But here comes round 11 of 36 between Harv and Kevin down the back straight in towards turn 1, and Rossi much as fancy himself here.
Yes, and here comes Harv again to the right-hand side, and once again, the top 2 switch positions. Small rear lockup from Harv, but he does get it stick nice and early. Adam Dude has overtaken Flying Rossi very suddenly. Who saw that coming? As Flying Rossi looked like the one on the attack, but it's Adam Dude that powers through for the time being, up to 3rd place at this stage. I was just reading a chat message from AXF1. The GOAT in P7, ABE Raptor, as we all know him. He's side by side, actually. What a great time to go on board with the other McLaren in this race, as he overtakes Limjet, who's just been hit by a 3-second time penalty. But yeah, Raptor being the rain source to Axe in the live chat. To be honest, the sky is still that blue. I still hardly believe it at this point, but we'll go along with it.
Yeah, skies are still blue, but if there is rain coming, then fair enough. But the reason why Rossi's lost his position, he's had to make a dive bomb from about 100 meters too late. Almost smacks into the back of Kevin. Had to really be late on the brakes there to go into the corner as Harvey comes into the pit lane now for the Aston Martin team. But very, very, very audacious move there from Rossi, and lucky to not hit anyone in the process, but got away with it. But now he's also positioned to Adam Dude, and Adam Dude might just be on the attack here, maybe having a look on Kevin, who makes an absolute meal of turn 1, and now Adam Dude is well on the attack to try and get back up into the lead. Will get his lead first time around. Here he comes then, ERS and DRS wide open for the Williams driver. They both have DRS on. Here comes Adam Dude down the inside of the Mercedes. Mercedes power versus Mercedes power. Kevin is still going to fight this all the way to sector 2. Does he have it in the bag? He's down the inside, and this time around he just about holds on to it for P1, and Adam Dude's just going to have to try again.
Suddenly great battles ignited in Mexico City. Kevin's looked to have been struggling since around lap 6, I want to say. Just has not looked hooked up at all. Excuse me, perhaps just feeling the pressure being out in front. We're awaiting another new race leader in Adam Dudes, and haven't really been counting. FRT Blackie with a 3-second penalty now as well, and Adam Dudes who just halted on his previous attack. Kevin now comes into the pits. Yes, he does. Adam Dude did as well. Flying Rossi staying out for one more, as does Hayden Cass and ABE Raptor at this stage. Will Hayden Cass fancy going for the race lead? Perhaps not, but Flying Rossi, the championship leader, now out in front, leaving it late on lap 13.
Now Rossi's going to have to push as hard as he can now to try and get this overcut to work, as a lot of those drivers, as well, Kevin and Adam Dude, sorry, all have the undercuts on them. But look at Humperdinck though into P8, and he's already jumped them by about a position, as so has Blackie as well. So the undercut is absolutely fantastic here, and I think Humperdinck might just have the race lead here if he's played this absolutely beautifully. 15 seconds back on Rossi right now, with Harv and Adam Dude 18 and 20 seconds back on Rossi. If he can keep this pace up, does Rossi might have a look to maybe try and overtake Harv and Adam Dude if he's lucky. Kevin, if he's lucky as well. It's going to be tight, but he might be able to do it as he makes his way through the stadium section now. He surely has to pit now to try and respond to the Mercedes, Aston Martin and Williams drivers, and also the Red Bull of Plucky. But no, he's going to stay one more actually.
He is, and dare I say it, is he thinking about a set of softs to try and push to this said rain period? Again, just quoting it at this stage for ABE Raptor. Heinekas in AI momentarily, but has no defence for the flying ABE Raptor, who's now second place in the McLaren 1-2 to Flying Rossi. A great performance so far, you have to say, from ABE Raptor. Yes, he did have fresh soft tyres at the start of this race, but he's done everything he's needed to, and now finds himself just 6/10 behind the championship leader. Filling in, of course, for Jam Pancakes, who's been absent for the last 4 or so rounds now. His last race being in Zandvoort as a race winner. McLaren back to the 1-2 that we saw there as well. Don't think it will last for too much longer, as they both need to pit sometime soon. But yeah, again, crediting ABE Raptor here.
Yeah, and that makes it McLaren 1-2 for him. He's already gapped Heyman Cass by about almost a second there, and he could be looking at his teammate of Flying Rossi as he makes his way through the stadium section now. And yeah, he's had a brilliant Grand Prix so far to make it all the way up in towards P2 there, as Rossi comes in towards the pits this time around, and this time flies into the pit lane for the medium compound tyres. Humperdinck making his way through the stadium section. He will definitely fall out of the way here. Yellow flags though in sector 3, and that is Nath having a little bit of a moment there out of the exit. There goes Rossi coming into the pit lane now, just about to come out, and he's going to have a massive gap from Adam Dude here. He's just going to come out of his picture now. Here comes Rossi out of the pit lane. How much of a gap does he have in front of him? As we have a look now, it's going to be around about 2 seconds. So Rossi really not benefiting there from going 2 laps longer.
Yeah, he has gone on to the medium tyres as well, so my comment on the softs has not quite been correct, but medium tyres will surely see him through, potentially even to the end of this race. Something's going on with Nath, perhaps just letting drivers through at this phase. The 2 Aston Martins through now of the Humperdinck and Harv. Harv just 1.3 seconds behind his teammate, the Humperdinck, on 10 lap fresher medium tyres. So again, it is looking good for Harv in this race. Another driver who's driven exceptionally to his pretty low standards this season. He's found something of his very best, which we've seen time and time again from Harv. He's very much capable of it now. Into the pit lane, ABE Raptor and Hayden Cass in from 1 and 2 in this race. Limpjet staying out with a penalty. What's that you've seen, Jish?
I'm just seeing Nath have a little bit of a spin in the stadium section. There's a little bit of contact made from Rossi there. Heart and mouth moments. I thought it might have been Adam Dude, but Nevertheless, I was thankfully wrong, but Nathan really struggling out there right now. But Adam Dude's going to have a little bit of a slip on Kevin. Should be easy as you like for the Williams driver. Down the inside he goes, but Kevin's not going to make it easy for him, as he actually broke a little bit early to try and get the DRS. Did Adam, and he's got the Adam, and he spun round Kevin in the process.
Oh, it was so tight. It was a pinch, as you do expect in these double chicanes at Mexico. Certainly be looked at by the steward should it be reported. Just one of those arguably racing incidents when you first look at it. You never really know with desync, with the issues the game faces at the minute. But 0.8 of a second now, Harvey is behind the Humperdinck, has just picked up a 3-second time penalty. Could be crucial late in this race. Late race safety cars, of course, can change the complexity penalty wise as well. The complete running order of the race when you look at it from a net standpoint. But the Humperdinck seems to be struggling now. 13 lap old mediums, has been on those since the end of lap 1. Into the pits comes, is that FRT Blackie, and he's only been on those mediums for 5 laps, so very interesting to see what he's up to.
Yep, front wing damage actually.
There's a front wing change.
Yeah, front wing damage as Nathan dives into the pit lane to retire the car. Makes it the third retirement of this race. But yeah, Kevin comes out of the pits there, or no, actually overtaking Lynn Hardman there on for P9. But yeah, interesting that also AB Raptor on fresh solar soft compound tyres, and I believe he just got the fast lap of the Grand Prix as he looks to try and overtake a teammate of Flying Rossi. Has a little bit of a look down the inside. Rossi's having none of it, but he's going to go around the outside. That's a very tight squeeze there given by Rossi. He makes his way through the double right-hander. Very interesting. No team orders given there at the McLaren garage. Limp Jet with a 3-second time penalty. Only 4 drivers now with a 3-second time penalty to their name, so all kept it pretty clean so far. DRS wide open this time around for Raptor, but so does Rossi. Does he have to dive it down there? No, he's not. Thinking a little bit better down the inside as he makes his way through the stadium section now, and Raptor really looking fairly quick right now on those soft compound tyres. Adam Dude as well, just in front on the mediums, and they make way through the final corner now. ERS and DRS to boot now for the McLaren drivers, and will they have another go of it is the question. And I think Raptor probably fancies his chances here.
Yeah, and dare I say it, fancies his chances for a race win. Starting from 16th on the grid, has gone for a soft strategy as the clouds just start to form in the sky as Flying Rossi looks down the inside of Adam Dude. We've got the front row seat still with ABE Raptor, who may look to take advantage. Look at the grip he's got on exit, and Flying Rossi may make it easy here for his reserve teammate, who closes on Adam Dude and goes down the inside of the Williams driver. Surely not 2 birds in 1 stone. Now he goes round the outside. Adam Dude not leaving him much space at all. Round the outside, now into turn 6, and again the Williams forces him off the track. He goes off the track. Does he yield and give that position back? Flying Rossi picks up a penalty, and in fact it's Raptor that gives Adam Dude a taste of his own medicine and pushes him off the track ever so slightly, and again lets him back through. It's never ending in Mexico City as now Flying Rossi goes back through. What a sequence of events, and it's still not over.
Yeah, fair play to fair sportsmanship there from Raptor. He knew he did it fairly wrong on both occasions as Blackie's actually retired in the pits as Raptor comes into the pit lane as well. Massively on the brakes there is the McLaren driver. He comes into the pit lane, but yeah, letting him go both times around there, and he's actually on the medium compound tyres, so I don't think there will be any slight chance of rain now, and that might be his race over after that strategy, I dare say. But he was looking absolutely fantastic there. There's a little bit of battling, but yeah, unfortunate there that happened with the racing there. Unfortunately, he got a penalty, but fair sportsmanship from him. But did get a penalty here, but around Mexico it is very tight, which is bound to happen once or twice. But Flying Rossi remains in P5 with Adam Dude in P4, and it is still Half who leads away so far in the net lead, and Adam Dude picks up another penalty.
It's a shame to have ABE Raptor now pretty much out of the equation on debut, of course, in Tier 3. What a story it would have been. 16th to potential race win, but it does look like the skies are going to stay clear, and therefore drivers have really got to think with their hard hats on. The Humperdinck is not going to be able to survive out there. Axel and Typical F1 yet to pit again in this race. That's for Typical F1. Axel hasn't pit at all, and he leads the way. Another new race leader in this race. We've had plenty of them, and still nobody really knows who's to come out on top here in Mexico City, with penalties a huge factor, strategy a huge factor, and still question marks over the weather. Will it arrive in time, if at all?
Yeah, interesting there if the rain will come or not. Right now, some of these suspicions are that it probably won't. It's still getting still blue skies, but just seeing towards sector 2, there are a few clouds starting to form here. There's a few clouds starting to just get a little bit bigger and start covering the circuit. So may still be out there, but maybe just at the very end. So maybe it was the right idea for AB Raptor just to come in there in the end, just to get the mediums on. But I think there's still time for it to come. There's more cloud cover in towards sector 3 than anywhere else on the circuit, as Humperdinck closing in to his teammate Alfar, probably not close enough to try and go for a move in towards turn 1, but still maybe try and think about it. He's using all the ERS he can, which is probably not wise. He's run out now, and I don't think he's going to be close enough in towards turn 1. No, he's not 7 cents back, but typical an APL Axel battling away for the lead. This could get quite tasty. Both of them yet to pit, as well as Humperdinck. Humperdinck has actually made a pit stop, and so is typical. Axel, the only one yet to make a pit stop, but he's going very, very long on those medium compound tires. Try and get there in the end, but now we can see a little bit more cloud cover starting to fall.
Yeah, absolutely. Typical F1 perhaps pushing a lot here because, well, he's got to pit again, surely. You know, he's in a direct battle here with Axel. Perhaps wants to get the most out of his soft compound tyres when he's on them as well, just preparing for that. Who knows at this stage, but certainly a bit of haze over the circuit as the sun barely poking through now. So, suddenly we're left scratching our heads again. Is there rain? Is there not rain? And what has ABE Raptor done? Because soft, medium just ain't it.
Yeah, it's as you can see, getting much darker. Axel pulls into the pit lane. That surely is a mistake, unless he cannot physically go any more laps on those medium compounder tyres. It's getting much darker than it has been 2 laps ago. So he pulls on to the soft compound tyres. He's going to have to make a mega jump through the field now if he wants to try and win this race, with maybe intermediate weather to come, maybe even wet if it gets heavy enough, as he makes his way out in P9. But now it's down to typical. He's currently running very, very well right now. Liam Hardman, fastest man on the track with a 0.631. But now it's all down to typical to try and make his way all the way on those medium compound tyres, to try and make it last all those laps until the rain comes, if it does come at least. Currently sitting P1, fairly tasty, but he's got a very fast half. Humperdinck and Flying Rosie, and also Adam Dude, and also him and Cass just behind him.
It'll be some genius strategy if Typical F1 can get to the rain period and lead the way. What a strategy call that would be. The Humperdinck likewise sitting in 3rd place. At the end of the day, they've not really lost out. They're back where they were, and they are right in the mix for a race win. Typical F1, crucially though, without a penalty. Half still looking strong. Fresher tyres by 10 laps. Just the 3 seconds to his name, which isn't totally damaging when you consider that the Humperdinck, Flying Rosie and Adam Dude are all equal on that front. We're almost 2/3 of the way into this race. The weather has drastically shifted from a blue-coated sky to cloud-covered chaos up there. Is there going to be any sort of rainfall as the laps tick down? Is there going to be a Typical F1 strategic miracle? Are those tyres going to go much longer, or will they go bang? Genuinely, who knows?
Yeah, it's very, very tough times right now for the strategist on the pit wall and the drivers to see whether or not to come in at X amount of laps, but Typical still seems pretty happy on his tyres. So is Humperdinck right now. 20 laps they both shared on those same medium compounds, but seem pretty happy so far. There's not a lot of blistering going on for any of them. Humperdinck having a little bit of trouble. You can just see on his front hand tyres a little bit of degrading on the front right and the front left. A little bit noticeable more on the front right as we have a look at Typical. His tyres seem okay. Front rights again not looking fairly decent, and his rears a little bit interesting as well. But should be interesting to see what happens in these next few laps. But they still seem pretty happy on the mediums right now. But Typical running out of fuel as well, so he's going to have to fuel save as well by the chance of trying to defend from Harvey as well. But hopefully the rain will come for his sake.
I think a safety car would really, really shake things up here as well, of course. Will people take the early gamble, or will people leave it out there and, well, just wait for the signal that it is, in fact, going to be wet enough? The track just developing that sort of greasy shine that we often see, which does indicate some sort of rainfall imminent. It's getting darker and darker by the second. See it in the sky. It's ready to release. And Codemasters, despite all of its antics in this previous week, are now shining a light on the chaotic weather systems, which it's hard not to love, to be honest with you. We do get some great finales, great races out of it. And into the final corner then. Typical F1 now 22 laps on those medium tyres, and Harv in striking range to take the race lead on track. He'll need to. Oh, the Humperdinck's come in here. Surely that means he can't go much longer. What tyres is the Humperdinck going on? Softs for a dash here.
Yeah, soft compound tyres on for Humperdinck there, so he thinks that the rain may not last unless he can't physically do any more laps on those tyres. So now it's interesting times to see how Typical is doing. His tyres look a little bit worse than the last time we checked, which was about 2 laps ago. So looking a little bit eager right now for Typical, but obviously Humperdinck electing for a dash on the soft compound tyres for these final 11 laps. But there still could be a little bit of a chance of rain, which is going to be a little bit interesting, but maybe he thinks the rain might not come. Typical is losing a lot of time out there to Harv right now, who's eating away to this advantage. 7 tenths right now is the gap between the two drivers, but Typical really has to try and hold on if the rain does want to come. But this is the chance now. If he wants to pit, it's going to have to be now, really, or maybe in 2 laps time. As he comes towards the final corner comes the Mercedes driver. Does he peel it into the pits this time around? No, he doesn't. He's going to stay out for one more.
Harv
does pit though. Harv is pitting for the soft compounded tyres. That is fairly strange to me, to be honest.
That is fairly strange, and just had the word from Cheat. Obviously, Luke live streams the Humperdinck, of course. He had 74% on his front left tyre, according to our friend in this tier, Cheater. And he also did speed into the pit lane as well. Harv coming out then on the soft tyres. The Humperdinck is going to jump him. So that's not a welcome sight at all for Harv. Is there going to be rain? Let us know, Codemasters. We need you at this moment. Typical F1 needs you at this moment as he stays out there on potentially close to 85% on those medium tyres. It depends on how hard he's been pushing. We've seen him push just not too long ago, actually. It was very visible in his driving, and he's still giving it absolutely everything as we speak. 10 laps to go when he crosses the line. He's got to make a decision. The weather's got to make a decision. Not that it's human, but please give us an answer game.
Yeah, Typical will definitely not make it to the end on those mediums. That is fairly straightforward. Obviously, if Luke just did 74% on his tyres, then Typical surely has to pit. He's staying out one more, but it's getting brighter on the back straight. Don't think there will be any rain, so I think Typical is going to have to pit this lap. You can just see getting it a little bit lighter on the track, ever so slightly. It's a little bit brighter, but only just as he makes his way through turn 1. I'd love to know what his tyre wear is right now, as Humperdinck inevitably does set the fast up in the Grand Prix with a 16.793 on the soft compound of tyres. But now Typical under threat from Rossi right now as Half has a little bit of a look on his team. No, that's Humperdinck actually having a little bit of a look on his teammate. Half getting out of the way though as they make their way through the S's, and now Humperdinck on a charge now, but Half does get the DRS and is through on his teammate. But now Typical,
there's the rain.
There is the
there
rain.
It is.
The rain has come. Typical should now be the winner of this Mexican Grand Prix if he can keep it on track. But what a sign it is for the Mercedes. He can now pit onto the intermediates. Maybe not this lap, maybe in a few laps time, but he's gonna have to take it oh so careful. But that is the saviour for Typical, and now the rain has fallen. He's going very, very slowly though. That might be a puncture on the front left, I think. No, it's not. It doesn't look like it right now, but he's going quite slowly. He's coming into the pit lane. Yeah, the wet tyres are just a little bit better now, right now, as it came very, very late. But a stroke of luck there for Typical, and he might just be able to win this Grand Prix.
You know what, Jish? Everyone's followed him in, so surely Typical F1 will come out of this small train, out in front. Axel hasn't pit, Harv hasn't pit. Harv has certainly blown this race completely. It was in his hands to go on and win this race. Limp Jet hasn't pit. DRS disabled almost immediately after the rainfall has started. Typical F1, it's in your hands after a miracle of a strategy. Pitting at the end of lap 1, 24 laps, I think it was, maybe even longer, 25 on the medium tyres. And now the lead intermediate runner after a splash of rain. It's changed this race entirely.
Top three have absolutely ruined their races now with not pitting there, as it's just absolutely undrivable in the try. They're going about 50 miles an hour through the fast, through the double right-hander, which is a slow corner, but it's a little bit quicker than that in the dry. So, and look at that, Typical pretty much gaining by about a second a corner almost. Harvey barely skating right there. He's absolutely taking it so cautiously, and Typical is going to have to be a little bit cautious that Harvey doesn't make any sudden movements. And there it is, just getting shut on the door there as the traction's just not there. Harvey trying to defend, not sure why. Dive it down the inside. Well, Typical, no, he's not going to be patient, but Harvey's just a little bit too slow right now. He has to make that move, and he does so, but Hart's still trying it down the inside, not going to have it done. And Lipchen and Axel limp their way to the pit lane, and Typical takes the lead of the Grand Prix. Adam Dude down the inside on the final corner, and so does Flying Rossi. But yeah, the top three, which were the top three, have definitely ruined their races. Now Typical leads this Grand Prix with Adam Dude in P2.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not sure why Half was trying to defend there. He's got every right to in normal circumstances, but I think then just give it in. You're more likely to cause an accident there than anything, in my opinion. But he rejoins the race down in P9, maybe even P10, as ABE Raptor, who was definitely one of the favourites. If he stayed on those soft tyres, got that move done when he needed to on Adam Dude, I think it could have been a completely different story with ABE Raptor potentially out in front. But he's now in 9th, and so we don't really need to worry about that at all. It's Typical F1, 1.4 seconds out in front. Penalties to Adam Dude, Flying Rossi. No penalties for Hayden Cass and KTFE Kevin. They are likely to be on the podium at the moment.
Yeah, right now, him and Cass and Kevin on the podium, and after that spin, I think Kevin will definitely be taking a penalty, to be taking a podium there all the way to the bank, unless something drastic happens in the final few laps. But Typical second gap on Adam Dude, no DRS now until the end. The rain has fallen, and now it's looking more and more likely that he may win this Grand Prix. Half with a 3-second time penalty, Adam Dude also with the penalty. So even if Adam Dude overtakes Typical here, it should be enough for Typical. If he can stay in the 3 seconds, he can get it done. And so if Flying Rossi overtakes him, it still can be done. A second, pretty much gapping all of them right now, as Heyman Cass and Flying Rossi gapping about the same lap a second there, as they come towards the turn 1 now. And taking it just a little bit cautiously, but Typical, it's all in his hands now. It's all for him to lose right now.
It is 9/10 now, and, well, when you add the penalty, about 4 seconds, and typical F1 can defend to his heart's content as well. But by doing that, is he bringing Hayne and Cass in? Is he bringing KTFE Kevin in, who are, in fact, closing down for the race lead as well? They're lapping very, very well at this stage as well. The Humperdinck in P6, net P7 on penalties, so although scoring much better points than he has been doing in the previous 2 rounds, it's really not enough to challenge this man, Flying Rossi, who, as it stands, will extend his lead in the championship by, well, I'm going to assume he finishes 5th at this stage, so he'll be up to about a 66-point lead, and with 6 races to go, that is going to be hard to topple. And in fact, he may even overtake Adam Dude and think about extending his gap and his chances, of course, for the podium. Simba Rocks one in the live chat saying Harv should have just passed Typical and pulled a gap before the crossover point. And in fact, I agree with that. It was the very logical thing to do, but for some reason, soft tyres went on, it started raining, and he's fighting for just a mere point. Jish, what do you think of that?
Yeah, very, very, very bad idea there from Harv to go on the soft compound tyres. I saw him pit, I was like, why is he pitting?
Yeah.
I don't really get it, to be honest. Like, the intermediate tires are gonna be in shortly, and he was looking pretty decent as me. I think it was only like 12 laps he did, so I'm not sure why he came into the softs for 2 laps and then pit again. So it's just a little bit weird for me why he did that. Obviously, maybe to try get the fastest lap, but he wants to. The fastest lap is only 1 point. A win is 25. So you really need to try and think about this logically, and he shouldn't have pitted there. And this completely ruined his race right now, and he's stuck in P10 right now. Only the 1 point and a little bit of a penalty there. And there is a penalty for someone there. That's Eamon Cass.
It was both Hayne and Cass and Kevin at the exact same time, and in doing that, both of them have completely blown a chance at a podium by penalties. That is unbelievable. Both got it at the same time. Easy to take your eye off things, especially in the wet, especially focusing on the cars around you, and, well, you've now got to put the work in, pick up the pace on circuit for their best chance at a podium here. Very, very disappointing if you're Hayden Cass or KTFE Kevin. Typical F1 now back 1.1 seconds out in front, and so looks lap by lap more and more likely to take the race win. It's impressive getting no penalties at Mexico. It's impressive holding medium tyres for 25 laps. Genuinely, I cannot think of a more deserving race winner. An absolutely immense performance from qualifying all the way through to these closing stages of the race.
Yeah, typical. Has been absolutely night and day tonight. It's been absolutely fantastic. Getting pole position and then leading away from the gap, pitted after lap 1, I think, and it was down quite a few positions, but he's made up all that time, and he's only had to do with 2 stops actually, soft, medium, and then to inter. So 2 stops has worked for him, but an absolutely fantastic drive for him. All credit goes to him, and right now he's looking likely to be the race winner here in Mexico. Hopefully that's not the commentator's curse. In a few moments' time, and we'll see him smash into a wall. But hopefully that doesn't happen for our sake, as Axel gets up another penalty. The only driver that probably could have stolen a couple of positions, only one actually, and something is 14 seconds back. But now it is pretty much certain that Typical has kept it clean this whole race, as TMS Amaze is quite far back and might have disconnected as well alongside Rafiki. So he is the only man to keep it clean, and hopefully he does keep it clean for the rest of this race. Looking at the penalty situation, everyone pretty much on 3 seconds apart from Limpjet Raptor, who's on 6, and Harvey on 9, and then Leon Hardman on 12. So brilliant drive tonight from Typical, and we'll be taking those 25 points home to Mercedes.
Still 4 more daunting laps left to go, about 18 kilometres of the Mexico City circuit, and they are long. There's chicanes, there's straights. You've got to be patient. You really have got to take it 1 corner at a time. I know that sounds obvious, but well, when you're in the race lead, when you've got everything to lose at this stage, you've done everything so perfectly. There is no taking your eye off anything. Cheetah, who watches on from the live chat, missed the Russian Grand Prix earlier on this season, and now missing this evening in Mexico City after not scoring a single point last time out in Bahrain as well. He slips further and further away from the championship lead, as we all know. The impressive driver that he is, he has really taken the championship by storm as well, especially at the start of this season. He wants to make a comeback. He wants to certainly announce himself as a championship contender of some sort. Whether he can close that gap or not, we're waiting for you, Cheetah, and we cannot wait to have you back. And a bit further back, it's very interesting now, actually. We're having a small battle on track. ABE Raptor now looking for P8. Bit of consolation here. He's put in a great effort. There's no denying in this race. It wasn't to be, again, a pretty strategical failure. And overtake, engage. Axel and the Humperdinck just going to interrupt as the Humperdinck goes up into P6, and that will stay P6 as it stands as well with the penalty situation. Raptor bumping in to the rear wing of Limp Jet, and again looks to get on the overtake. No, he doesn't. But in the slipstream down towards turn 4, not quite to be, but the Humperdinck up to 6th in that phase of battling.
Yeah, Humperdinck again just a consolation at this point. He's still 8 points going to his championship name, but still just a consolation overtake right there alongside AB Raptor and Limpjet passing away alongside Harv as well, and P10, who's had just a bad strategy call as well, and should be looking likely to take that 8th place as well. But typical 2 seconds clear and 2 laps away from home to try and secure maybe his first race win. I'm not quite sure. I'm not sure if he has any other race wins. I do apologise. Yellow flags in sector 1. That is TMSMA's round in turn 3. No safety cars right now, as only 2 laps left of the session, and should everything be going back to normal, so we should have 2 green flag laps as typical makes his way through the sector 2 split, or sector 1 split. 2 seconds clear of Adam Dude right now, but a little bit of a battle on track going on for the podium still, and fair enough, as they're all 3-second penalties. Heyman Cass could still vouch for a podium here, and so could Kevin. It's all going to come down to the final lap here.
It is, and as is this battle for 8th, 9th and 10th. Raptor all over the place, bashing into Harv on the exits. He gets a bit loose after contact with Limpjet. Here comes KTFE. Kevin around the outside, surely not. At turn number 7, what a move if he can make it stick, but Hayden Cass is still there on the inside of 8, and somehow KTFE Kevin has made a move, a wildy of a move around the outside at turn 7. However, that does leave him now about 2 seconds behind Flying Rossi. Perhaps has sacrificed a podium there, Hayden Cass, as KTFE Kevin has gone through up into 4th. Will he, on this final lap, be able to do enough to get up to 3rd? I don't quite think so. But on this final lap, it is worth noting that typical F1, should he cross the line as a race winner in 4 kilometres time, he will go up to P2 in the championship. I do believe he'll move on to 88 points, which is more than Cheetah and more than the Humperdinck would be on. And typical F1, of course, thank God, it's the last lap he's picked up a penalty on. Thank God for that, for his sake. He's got 2.3 seconds in the clear, PSR Jish. He's done everything perfectly. You cannot fault him for that one bit.
Yeah, he's done everything perfectly apart from that one slight mistake right at the end. But right now he's won this race, so I'm pretty sure he would not care absolutely less. But he's looking likely to win this Grand Prix. Only one I can probably doubt from off the podium right now is Adam Dude. He has 2 warnings to go as Humperdinck and Axel still battling away. Axel forced off the track. He's going to try and go around the outside of the Aston Martin. The Aston Martin squeezes the door shut and comes off onto the track. They're still side by side between the Aston Martins. The Aston Martin gives him room, but Axel gives him a squeeze of his own, probably really unneeded right there, as Humperdinck breaks a lot later. But here comes Typical to win the Mexican Grand Prix.
Here he comes then, rounding turn 16. Pretty dilute fireworks here. It's a fiesta And typical F1 takes victory in Mexico City. What a performance it was. What a strategy it was. And getting the penalty on the final lap means nothing in his rise to the top step of the podium for the very first time this season. It's Adam Dude taking P2. Another really good performance from him, taking his third podium in 4 races. All of which being P2s, but a crash across the line as the Humperdinck. And Axel. Oh, it's an absolute pile up. No words for the ending, Jish. What a great race that was.
Yeah, great race there, but yeah, typical. Undoubtedly did definitely deserve that race win there. Humperdinck, as Axel actually spun across the line there. Humperdinck just getting there in front by just a car's width there. So good points for him for today. But he'll definitely be happy with that one. But typical driver of the day, undoubtedly great race win, pole position, pitted after lap 1 for the mediums, went all the way until around lap 28, I think it was. On the mediums and then intermediates till the end for the final 8 laps, and took home a very, very famous win.
Absolutely. Let's get the top 3 in the party as we usually do here in the famous WOR Tier 3. And by the way, Everton are getting relegated. I always have to sneak a football reference into said WOR Tier 3 stream, but it's been a pleasure as always. Some interviews to round off. Once TMSMA stops doing shitty donuts.
Not sure why he's doing this retirement. You're not scoring points.
I want to see the podium. It's a tradition.
Apparently the safety cars come out on the last lap.
How is there a safety?
That's fantastic. Well, what a game.
Safety car?
What a game. What a game. I think TMSMAs will probably
just got bored.
Yeah, I think TMSMAs will probably get penalised after this race for the donuts, as we are on the lap, but he's decided to do donuts for whatever reason. But all to yours, mate.
Oh, he's going again in the stadium section. It's great fun the first time, but you've actually caused a safety car. There's a couple of screenshots that need to be made here. Because the sight on the start-finish straight, there's about 7-8 cars just sat there. I don't think we're getting out of this lobby anytime soon. Come on, TMSMAs, you can do it. You can cross the line. You can do it. We believe in you, mate. We believe in you. He's done it. P13 for TMSMAs. That was not amazing at all. As now we move into the results, the podium, and then of course the interviews. Driver of the day, Adam Dude, as said by the game. I don't know, debatable. Very much up for debate.
Yeah.
10th to 2nd is not bad at all, though. You can see why the game gave him it. But there are the results for you then. Typical F1 in first place ahead of Adam Dude and Flying Rozzy. KTFE Kevin did manage to recover to 4th place after a great move on 5th place Hayden Cass. The Humperdinck clinches 9 more championship points with P6 and fastest lap. APL Axel finishing P7. Limpjet finishes in P8, and Raptor, who had it very much in his hands with the strategy he chose before declining and going onto the medium tyres, P9. Very much blew it there down in P10 as the points finishes go. Right, let's move on to the interviews then. We have Flying Rozzy and we have Adam Dude in the party. Great to have you two here. Let's start with you, Flying Rozzy. Another really good podium. That's what, your 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th in 9 races. That is a mental number. Challenging conditions, challenging race with strategy, and all sorts going on. What were your thoughts on that one?
No, really. First of all, well done to Isaac. Yeah, I think he's deserved this win for a long time after I've nicked it off him on the last laps every now and then. But yeah, no, I think my pace was better than what the result showed, but there was a few times where I perhaps got stuck in traffic where I could have been going a bit faster. And I did. If the rain had held out another lap, I think I'd have had Isaac. But you know, that's just how it is.
It is how it is. But on the positive, you do extend your championship lead over Cheetah, who of course wasn't able to make it. The Humperdinck as well, finishing down in P6. So, who? Oh dear. But yeah, you have to say, still points wise, satisfying. And are you going to be stopped? That's the question.
No, because
And
unfortunately for everyone else, I'm absolutely massive in many senses. So
I agree.
yeah, obviously, while Isaac's here, well done, very good race, and I think you deserved it. And in a bit, lads.
Well, thank
Thanks,
you.
Rozzy. He's gone before Jish could even ask him any questions.
Oh.
So I'll leave you to Adam, then Jish.
Yeah, Adam, great podium there for you into P2. Obviously, just a little bit difficult near the end. Was the strategy quite interesting? Obviously, there was a little bit of debate between whether it was going to rain or not, but did rain in the end. Was the strategy ever a little bit difficult for you during the race?
No, not really. I was going to do a soft, medium, soft two-stop if it wasn't going to rain, but obviously we saw there was a chance of it at the end. So with the VSC at the start, I know it was only a small VSC, but the tyre wear was absolutely fine. My pace was all right, so I would have done soft, medium to the end if it weren't raining. But obviously the rain coming down when it did made it a pretty easy decision from there. So
Yeah. Australia next with 6 rounds to go. Do you feel confident going into that round?
I've only done a few laps on Australia on this game, but it's one of my favourite tracks from past few games, so hopefully we'll have another good result, so we'll see.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, congratulations on your podium tonight, and good luck for the rest of the season.
Cheers.
Yeah, Adam, if you're still with us, it's turned so much this season. 4 points in the first 4 races for you, and now 3 second places in the last 4 races. So it has really turned for you. What's changed driving wise, if anything, and are you hoping for this to continue?
At the start of the season, especially the first 3 races, my pace was much better than the results I got. I remember battling quali a couple of times. My race pace is normally stronger than my quali. So like today, for example, qualifying 10th, I knew I weren't 10th fastest. I'm pretty confident I could come through field in that, but yeah, not really instance or anything. It's just quali and maybe bad luck with a couple of things here and there. Yeah, today I would have liked to have thought I could have won, but I was getting held up in traffic and there was some unnecessary battling and stuff going on as well. So yeah, I'm just glad though that the results have shown like where my pace should be.
Absolutely. Massive congratulations to you for that. I think that moves you up into second place in the championship as well, but don't quite quote me on that. We'll wait and see what happens in the stewarding. But of course, let's talk to the race winner for the first time this season. It's typical F1. Absolutely fantastic to be able to speak to you again. And likewise, your season has flipped as well. We're not great first 4 races, but in these last 4, you've really picked it up. Again, 3 podiums in the last 4. Now, a race victory to go with it.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that because I got a Thrustmaster TMX wheel for Christmas, and then and the first 4 races I had a lot of bad luck, and I had some wheel going off, the force problems with the force feed, but I managed to sort it out. But I turn it off for a long while so it doesn't go off. But when I got my first podium in Canada, I felt I can do this without giving up. And then I got a second place, but it was sad that he couldn't win at Monza. But I was worried that the Humperdinck was going to catch me, but I managed to stay out until the rain can come, so I can be on the Inters now, which is pretty amazing, really. But with a 3-second time, I didn't care about that because I just wanted to manage the fuel till the end. But I'm pretty happy I got a win.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you go up to second place in the championship. I was getting all mixed up with Adam, but likewise, it's a mega result for you on that front. And do you think you can maybe maintain this fight, hold on to this second place in the championship, if indeed I am correct?
We'll see how these last 7 or 6 rounds are to go. Even if I don't have the answer when Rossi can. With Rossi dominance, so I think I'll try my best to catch up to Rossi for the titles.
Yeah, and well done to you. Typical. Great to speak to you again. Jish, any questions for the race winner?
Typical, absolutely fantastic job from you today. You're the race winner here in Mexico. Obviously, at first that pit stop, we thought that you might have been damaged, but didn't did decide to be a strategical one. But was that ever entering your mind pre-race that you were going to do that?
I was wanting to go for the undercut because I had a bit of a bad start, but I didn't want. I kept trying to manage those tires because I can try and take those tires longer and quite manage the pace and stuff.
Yeah. Well, congratulations to you. Obviously, Australia next round. Do you think you can try and continue your race-winning procedure?
I don't have the answer to that because Australia, the curbs are pretty realistic.
Yeah. Well, congratulations today, and good luck for the rest of the season.
Well, you too. Thank you. Thank you so much. That's why we don't give up in the league race.
Well said. Well said. Well, indeed, that is where we're going to wrap it up this week. Hopefully, you guys can join us down under in a week's time for the Australian Grand Prix, and hopefully, everyone enjoys the race this weekend as well, bright and early if you're in Europe, and for the rest of the world, probably just normal to you. But we're certainly looking forward to it here in Europe and the UK. But of course, thank you everyone so much for watching. But a pleasure having you here, Jish. Pleasure covering such a brilliant race. Rain induced as well. Until next time then, we'll see you down under.